In this crazy, always on world we live in, there's this kind of exhaustion that's, well, it's deeper than just being physically tired. It's that mental drain that even a full night's sleep can't seem to touch. Today, we're going to get into what that really is, why it's happening, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. All right, let's jump in. Now, really think about it for a second. Have you ever had that feeling at the end of the day where your brain just feels full? Like you literally cannot process one more thing or make one more tiny decision. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, trust me, you are in very good company. And this isn't just some vague feeling, right? Researchers have actually pinpointed a whole set of symptoms. Do any of these ring a bell? That mental fog where your thoughts just don't feel sharp? Or maybe you're being more forgetful than usual, feeling kind of irritable over little things, or just can't seem to focus. These are all the classic telltale signs of what the experts call brain fatigue. So what is this thing, really? Well, think of your brain like a muscle. Brain fatigue is basically what happens when that muscle gets completely overworked. When you're constantly juggling information, solving problems, and making decisions without enough downtime, your brain's energy reserves just bottom out. And that leads to that deep, profound feeling of mental exhaustion. Okay, so if our brains are getting overworked, we've got to ask the question, what's doing all the overworking? Well, one of the biggest suspects in our modern lives is probably staring right back at you from the palm of your hand. And this isn't just a hunch, it's a huge, measurable trend. Get this, a 2019 report found that Facebook lost an incredible 15 million users in just 2 years. And when researchers dug into why, they pointed to one specific reason for this mass departure, something they named social media fatigue. Yeah, social media fatigue is a real recognized thing. It's that feeling of being drained, annoyed, and just over it when it comes to your social feeds. And it's all caused by the sheer volume and intensity of our digital interactions. You could call it burnout, but specifically for your online life. So here's the key. There's a real science to this feeling. It's not just in your head. It has a name, a cause, and a very clear effect. Researchers call the root cause technostress, and they've actually mapped out exactly how it gets us from stressed to totally burnt out. Check out this model from the research. It shows this clear chain reaction. See, it all starts with technostress. That's the stress we get just from using all our tech. That stress directly causes social media fatigue. And once that fatigue really sets in, it leads to the intention to discontinue use. That really strong urge to just log off and walk away. So let's break down this techno-stress thing, because it's not just one big blob of stress. Researchers have actually identified 3 specific kinds of overload that all feed into it. And this right here, this might be your big aha moment, where you see exactly where your own fatigue is coming from. First up, we've got information overload. This one's pretty easy to understand. It's that feeling of being totally swamped by the amount of stuff coming at you. Your feed is like an infinite fire hose of posts, news, videos, opinions, and your brain just wasn't built to handle all of it. Next, there's communication overload. Now, this isn't about the amount of info, but the number of interruptions. It's the constant demand for your attention. Every single ping, message, tag, and notification is pulling your focus, shattering your concentration, and leaving your mind exhausted from all that task switching. And finally, there's social overload. This is the emotional side of it all. It's the cognitive weight of managing your entire online social life. It's that pressure to keep up, to like and comment, to be a supportive online friend. So you see, it's this perfect storm, the flood of content, the constant interruptions, and the emotional labor that creates digital burnout. So what happens when you get hit with these 3 overloads, day in and day out? Well, your brain does something completely logical. It tries to protect itself. That feeling you get, that urge to just unplug, that's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a healthy defense mechanism kicking in. And that urge, it actually has a formal name in the research world: discontinuance intention. It's the very active, very conscious decision to pull back from a platform as a way to cope with all the fatigue and stress it's causing. It's basically your brain raising a white flag and saying, okay, that's enough. And we see people acting on that intention in a few common ways. Some people try controlled use, setting app timers or only checking at certain times of day. Others take short breaks, like a digital detox for a week or a month. And then some go all the way and just delete their accounts for good. Have you ever found yourself doing any of these? Okay, we've defined the problem, we've figured out the causes, and we understand the consequences. So now for the most important part. What can we actually do to fight back against brain fatigue and take back our mental energy? The solution really is a two-front battle. On one side, you have your foundational real-world wellness. This is the non-negotiable stuff: getting enough sleep, moving your body, eating well. These things build up your brain's natural resilience. Then, on the other side, you need specific digital world strategies. This means being intentional with your screen time, taking planned breaks, setting firm boundaries like, say, no phones in the bedroom, and finally, taming those endless notifications. And I'll give you one of the most powerful, yet simple strategies of them all: single tasking. I know our digital lives are built around multitasking, but our brains absolutely hate it. Just focusing intently on one thing at a time, whether that's your work, a conversation with a friend, or reading a book, it's like a radical act of self-care for your brain. It massively reduces the cognitive load and helps stop that fatigue before it even starts. So, as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with this one question to chew on. This isn't about being perfect or throwing your phone into a river. It's just about taking back a little bit of control. So what's one small, totally achievable digital boundary you can set for yourself starting right now to give your brain the break it so clearly deserves?